busy day tomorrow. Oh, yeah, just for a second, I'll turn it off. Now, here's the thing. Oh, man. I want marijuana, but I can't have it right now because I don't have it. You know, I got this brand new, sweet, fucking grade A pipe here. Good old-fashioned Sherlock Holmes here, okay? Right? Real nice, antique. And I'm out. And I'm all out. I'm all out of weed. Good thing is I was able to buy cigarettes. God, I wish I could smoke weed. But I can't. But hey, I got Zins. So it really gives a fuck. And these ones burn, baby. These ones ain't going down easy. You're not gonna get these ones without a fight. 'Cause they burn. E? You want to shove it up into your lip. Then you kind of wait through the excruciating pain that follows. And then you're good. Because at first, nicotine pouches hurt. They don't feel good. They hurt. They sting. Put them in there and they sting. And it burns because the nicotine is entering. Then once you get used to it, it doesn't burn anymore. That's kind of, it's kind of with a lot of things that involve a little bit of pinching. Something you have to get used to. You want to be on the pouch, not the vape. But, foolish me, I do the pouch and the vape at the same time. Because, I'm a baller. Okay? I'm a really big baller and I won $1 million. I think I got the lyrics wrong. Oh my god, this is so Nickelodeon. What the fuck am I doing? Whatever. I found these glasses today. They looked marvelous in the store. It's finna go down like the door, not Keebler. It's finna go down like the door. It's finna go down the door, no. Oh, guys. Don't ever start smoking weed at a young age. If you're 21, by all means, start at a young age. You know what happens when you can't get it and you're addicted to it? You go fucking crazy. Okay? You go fucking nuts. Where can I find it? How can I get it? How can I get my hands on it right now? Not tomorrow, not the next day. But right now, I've gone through quite a bit of treatment. So I'm sitting here like, I can't get it. That just kind of sucks. On the inside, I feel that way. But on the outside, I'm just kind of like, and I have to be there because I can't let it control my life. So, yeah, don't get addicted to marijuana. It literally, it becomes, so you know how with eating, you eat and you feel good until the next time that you're hungry, right? You probably know what I'm getting on about here, right? Big drug talk, right? But, suddenly, you're hungry for weed and you're hungry for nicotine and, instead of starving to death when you don't get them, you just get angry and pissy and annoying, and that can really happen like that. Like, well, not really, it takes about a week, but, within a 3-day period, you'll probably be feeling like shit enough to have that be the reality anyways, because, that's what drugs are. Welcome to the Hotel California. Nah. Kinda. Sign yourself up for something, and then you try to quit, and suddenly you realize you're not so, like, you didn't achieve all that peace on your own in the context that you're doing drugs and you're addicted. It's like you didn't achieve all that peace on your own. You can't do that on your own. You can only do that if you're high. And that's like kind of what the reality of the situation becomes. And that's why you become reliant on drugs. Because suddenly, because you found an escape and it worked so well that now you can't go without it. You know what I mean? That escape became the reality. In treatment, they said a lot. Not every day can be a good day. And it wouldn't be good if it were like that anyways. Because then there would be no good days. There would just be days. You know, with drugs, it's like, you know, suddenly you hate being sober if you're like if you're like full time doing drugs all the time. Like, you don't want to be sober. Sober sucks. You know, it's only good when you're high. But then, if you are sober, you're fine when you're sober, and then when you're high, it's a little overwhelming. And that's how it should be. Because, it's supposed to be a celebration, not the norm. Although it does, although if you're doing it every day, then it is the norm. And nothing feels good anymore, it just feels numb. You know what I mean? That's why consistently using things like weed or alcohol or pretty much anything that's a drug is just not a good idea. I had a pretty crazy weekend, pretty party weekend. Set me up with a bit of cravey feelings, but it's nothing I can't just wait it out for. You know, obviously I'm gonna buy more. What do you think I am? A guy who's not gonna buy more? Because you'd be surely mistaken. But you can't do it and then not do the things that you need to do. And you can't do it if you feel unhappy, because that will just... Think of it like this. You're in a slideshow. Here's this moment where you're unhappy, right? And what you're going to do by smoking weed when you're unhappy is you're going to take that moment and you're going to push it over here, and you're going to put a new moment there. And then once that moment ends, you still get to experience that shitty moment. It's just now you have to experience it later when you could have just dealt with it. You know what I mean? That's why trauma resolution is something really important when it comes to drugs, because let me tell you, man, trauma will fuel the shit out of your addiction. It will fucking make you never want to be sober again. I'm sober. Whatever. I got blue. Okay. But, yeah. I got blue. And I'm the doorknob Keebler. Oh, guys, the doorknob Keebler. We're orange now. Alright? I don't know where my green shades went. I'm honestly really sad about that. They might be behind something, but I doubt it. I miss my green glasses. These ones are fine. They fit, they're snug. They're on there. And they're very well shaped for the thing. It's gonna be a hard day tomorrow, guys. Gonna go bust my ass and make us some money so I can keep this whole thing going. But even if I do ever go homeless, doesn't mean I'll go away. Just be homeless doorknob Keebler, which would be not the funnest thing to watch, but it'd be there, because it is. It's just, I just am. I am. Period. I am. Period. Simple. If I were to go homeless, I would just start recording, like, the adventures of what it's like being homeless. I would just try and give as much perspective as I can. Just like I try to give as much perspective as I can on what it's like to be fucking me. You know? But, you know, I'm normal. As far as I'm concerned. You know? But if I believe I'm weird, then there will always be somebody to tell me I'm normal. But if I believe I'm normal, there will always be somebody to tell me weird. You get what I'm trying to say? I just had a little grammatical fucking train wreck there. Let me rephrase that. My brain is not working. If I am normal, there will always be somebody to call me weird. And if I am weird, there will always be somebody to call me normal. And that's how it's always been. It just flip-flops. Just like, I decide what I am, to some extent, you know, from the perspective of other people. They also decide whether I'm normal or weird. And that's what just made me realize it doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, you know, I know what's really weird. You know, you can look at it, this broad thing of different shades of weird, but at the end of the day, weird is destructive harassment of others. And normal is minding your own business, doing your own thing. So I'm a little weird, but not completely weird. You know, I harass people online, but not in person. Like, you think I would say half of the stuff I'm saying over face-to-face online? No, just kidding. Well, I'd have to, no, it depends on who. But, you know. Oh, there's so much context in the world. We're swimming in it. We're swimming in context, moral context, just everything. We're swimming in context. These words are everywhere. You're grabbing them and you are putting them together to form a sentence of context. Some words can be very powerful. Some words can be very weak. And you know, has a lot to do with how you're viewed as a human being. You know? Has to do with your consistency and your reliability. Emotionally, I'm not reliable. If you try to use me as an emotional clutch, it's like if I'm say I'm like a walking stick. You try to lean on me and I'm gonna break, because bitch, I don't got time for your emotions. Can't even handle my own. Like, who the fuck? What do you think I am, a therapist? I'm trying to get a therapist. I don't even know if I need a therapist anymore. I just have such a high distress tolerance. I don't give a fuck. But, you know, I would stay out of trouble, so I guess I don't really have to worry about going to juvie or jail at any point soon, because I don't like getting in trouble. It, you know, with things like with law, because, you know, you just can't get out of that. Once you're in that, you're in that. And there ain't no escape from that situation, you know? But I do sometimes get in, like, contextual trouble. I guess you could say. Most of my troubles are not legal. They are just fucking... No. My struggles are life. But, you know, words. Human words. Human words. Human perspective. Human. absolutely zero raw physical reality. Because all you know is your context and your words and your language. What else do you know? Besides anything, what do you know except for what you don't know? Right? About the universe. The workings of said universe. It's a pretty heavy set of words. It's probably like 100 pounds. And honestly, 100 pounds is liftable. There's a different truth out there, though. And it just squashes you like a bug. You know what I'm saying? The truth is that trying to piece together, I'm kind of going off of a feeling, so I'm just kind of translating a feeling into words. So more so I'm just vocalizing my feelings, verbalizing them. I think the truth that I recently learned that just squashed me like a bug was that I am dependent on the government. I can't fucking take care of myself without a government there to fucking wipe my ass. Damn it, I just want to go live off the land. I'm so useless. So government groomed to be what I am, which is a human being. I'm a cog. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Go to Mars? Where are you going to go? You live on a planet, and you're not going to be able to leave. So, it's just things are the way they are. And if you don't have money, then you don't have shit. At the end of the day, you have your moments. And that's what matters. You see that? I did a little quote. That means it's like, that means I believe something different than what I said, I think. So, in terms of society and you hurt my feelings, it all really comes down to how much you give a fuck, and how let's talk about meaning again. Meaning, what does anything mean to you? What does this vape mean to me? It means my source of nicotine. If you get so wrapped up in meaning all the time, memories and moments and just who said what and fucking, and thinking. It's like, if you, in my experience, my very subjective experience that is very isolated to my own life and timeline, my experience, Wow, just completely. What? How the fuck did that just happen? That's literally fucking insane. I can't even like that. My experience, um, I just fucking completely blanked out. That was kind of a pain in my ass, not gonna lie. My isolated experience, separate from everybody's. Meaning and moment. If you carry too much value to a moment, you know, that can be a disadvantage, you know, strategically. Because if you're trying to survive and live in convenience, you know, and you don't have, I guess, I don't have, like, I feel like a piece of dough, and, like, and I'm not, like, I don't have this, I don't have the solidness, the solidity to have these emotional fucking situations. Everything I just have to kind of stomp out like a cigarette, because at the end of the day, nothing, it's not going to help anything, you know? Actually feeling your feelings is not going to help anything. Doing something to change the thing you feel about is going to do something. Because actions is something, and words is sentimental. So, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just kind of on here ranting my thoughts and ideas. Just kind of spitting them. Spitballing. Just out here spitballing. You know, the world is scary. The world is large. The world will crush you. And that's kind of, you know, the idea. But at the end of the day, you know, it's really easy to think that way and then be like, oh, nothing matters. Oh, nothing. Die, sad, cut, depressed, you know? But at the end of the day, like, who gives a shit, you know? I'm just here to fucking fuck around and live, enjoy the wonderful parts of existence, and ignore the bad ones, but also deal with them in a way that doesn't make them get worse over time, in a way that I don't notice, like in the background of my mind. So,